Hello, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist, broadcasting live from planet Earth. For this episode, I'm going back to the beginning of November when I had an astral projection. I got it all written down, and because I was having so many other ones, I just didn't get to post this one or talk about it. So here it is now. I called it the Astral Help Desk Duty and Scottish Hound Portal. I looked that up, and it's spelled Cusith, but it is pronounced Cu-Sithe, and I will link that below. So I'm going to try to keep this quick just so I can get it finished and posted. So the beginning part is about me helping others in a helping capacity. I don't remember how I got there, but I remember they were acquaintances. I am reading off a page because I printed out my notes, and the memories are not so fresh anymore. I do remember parts of it pretty clearly, but not every little bit. I want to make sure I don't miss some details here. And I have written they had gathered about 20 to 25 people together who had all witnessed someone committing a horrible crime. And then I said perhaps more, as in more people. One woman in particular stood out to me. She had long, straight, brown, chestnut-colored hair, a very matter-of-fact attitude. She told me this was a high-profile case. It's very seriously happening on numerous dimensions, and their physical counterparts as well, meaning somebody is doing actual physical harm, as well as doing harm in the astral. So they want to find out more about who this is and see what they can do energetically to help protect people is what this one's about. She assigned me to a golden room. It was called the Golden Room, and was going to send me in various witnesses, turning the page, to this criminal's activities. And my job was to compare everything that these different people saw, felt, any little details they might have picked up. And I wrote down here their mental, emotional, and telepathic recollections about what they saw, as well as verbal analysis. Something about that was very important. There had to be like a verbal component, possibly for communication. I don't know. I'm still a little stumped on that one, but moving on. The first two witnesses were scruffy-looking men who only had general ideas about their whereabouts. One was mostly interested in getting back to his wife. He had a vague recollection, though, about a tall gray building in the background, and he thought he saw an eye looking out of it, but he wasn't sure. It could have been like a subconscious memory of something else. The second man also had dark hair, and he looked really tired. He wrote a few words down on a paper that looked like sand, so I'm not sure why he was showing me the sand. Maybe he lives near the sand or a beach. He also showed me a small universe that was unrelated to my task. It kind of was like a marble universe or something. And it seemed very unrelated. I did my best to stay on track and not get distracted by that marble universe there, because wow. And I asked him about what he remembered and how he felt about the criminal. He tried to reach back into his memories and recall events. Mostly he saw a lot of gray. At times he referred to gray stones and sent me numerous empathic feelings and references about those. I let him get back to his small universe construction or theory or whole universe, whatever it was. The next man that entered the Golden Room had longer black hair than the others. It looked a bit worn and scruffy. He wanted to write something down, so I passed him a piece of paper. I couldn't understand the language he was writing in. Most of the characters had sharp points, and he was trying to tell me telepathically about the sharp edges and points. It almost looked like a diagram, but at other times it kind of looked like letters. He had taken particular notice about those points, and he thought that the information would be super helpful. I flashed images telepathically, trying to remember even more than I usually do, is what I wrote there. And that just means I was going back and forth with him, trying to cement those details in my mind as well. He kept writing and detailing the forms and edges, filling in more details. He didn't see the actual criminal, yet he seemed to get most everything else in the immediate environment. So he's seeing a lot more than I'm able to translate, but I got the feel for it at least. I empathically also felt the scene and images. I relayed these to the woman in charge with the chestnut hair. And this is from a distance. She's not in the room, and I wasn't sure if she got the information. He left. A few others came in, which I began to lose track of as far as being able to remember them. One woman thought she saw an orangish pink stone and a quick flash. And then she started going on about her daughter, whom she was very proud of. So I thanked her for sharing, good mom there. Go take care of your daughter. That's all good. And then I wrote down gray stones, pink stones. I wasn't sure how to make sense about those. Yeah, it was not just one pink stone. There were many. And the ultimate objective was just to gather the information, not to process it. So I stopped myself from going over it too much because I'm still in process here. I'm just obtaining information and trying to remember it all. So I waited for the chestnut-haired lady to return, but she did not. When people stopped coming into the golden room there with me, I left it. There was a hallway lit up in a vague white color. I began walking down it to see if anybody else was in line to be interviewed. I had a strange feeling and turned around. And then I saw someone in a full bodysuit and a mask walking toward the golden room. So I zoomed right back into that room really quick, on guard. And I couldn't be sure who it was. So guess what? The masked being quickly shapeshifted back into that same lady. So I guess she was in disguise? I don't know. She informed me that they had found the criminal using information I had helped obtain. So I guess when I telepathed her the information, she got it even though she was not in that room with me. So I think it was from that man that had the sharp writing and had taken special care to remember the structural details of the surrounding environment. She wouldn't confirm this or anything. I'm not sure how else to say it. I wrote down, and then we nodded, and I woke up. I guess I did my job there. I helped out at the Astral help desk in the golden room. So next, I fell back asleep. I woke up, and then I fell back asleep. So I wake back to bed there, but it was only 1:30 or 2 a.m. in the morning. And I just remember blackness. I'm not sure if I was astral projecting in space or not, or if I was just sleeping, but my astral body was there and I was lucid. And I heard her say that she had one more urgent request for me. And so I decided, okay, let's do it. I'm not doing anything anyway, or I'm out in the middle of space and I don't even know it. So why not do one more? And so I just kind of phased into this next environment somehow. I'm sure it was with her help. And so this man explained that there was fairy moss, once green turning purple, as a portal and not being able to get through it. His thoughts were like this. This isn't just me taking quick notes now. He was kind of all over the place with his thinking. And then the word urgent kept coming up, like he has to get there quick. And this portal is not working. There's green, purple fairy moss, not regular moss. He didn't make a mistake. I asked for clarification. I asked him to slow down. And everything became way more clear. And he phased us astrally to his last location where he was having the problem. I think we were kind of already there, but it was like a different phase, and then it was super clear. And so I was now really stable in the location by a double phase or whatever he did. And by the way, as I could see better, he was a giant, at least 8 feet tall. I know not a green giant. He had the very large structural features of a giant being. Yeah, wow. And I've seen a few of them in the astral before, and they are incredible. I believe they must have actually been on the earth, maybe still are in locations we're not sure about or don't know about. I don't know, but giants lived, and I think they still live on somewhere. I don't know if it's only the astral for sure or not, but this is a giant, like old Bible time giant, you know. So pre Bible probably. Anyway, I don't want to get too distracted here because the problem here is the portal. You see, I wrote down that was fine by me. More about urgent. I wrote down urgent, urgent, urgent. So then I notate that we were in the deep woods. And did I tell you he is a giant yet? Yes, I did already. In my paper, I said he is. So there are trees in the dark that are wet. I noticed that. Water everywhere dripping. He is there. He shows me the portal ahead, which looks like it's like in the middle of a huge, huge tree, or maybe two trees together. It's kind of hard to tell. Lush, lush greenery. And he says again, violet fairy moss. Like maybe that's the name of the portal. I was wondering maybe, but there was violet moss around, and I got it. Like fairy, we're in fairy magic, fairy energy, fairy woods. Got it. And also, you know, telling me again and again that it's normal the rest of the time, which it should be. And this is violet green, meaning he should be able to go, go, go. You know, it's like the fairy green light. So telepathically, I wrote down that we had various scenarios playing out back and forth to each other while I was trying to understand him better. And his various attempts to go through this portal that are just failing time after time after time, and he has to get through it quick. And then he had to go to help for the help desk lady, and then she got me on. So, and I notated he's a proud man. He would not have asked for help if he had not exhausted all other resources. So he's felt he's been through it all. He's done, and he needs help, whether he wanted to ask for it or not. So I shared a sympathetic look with him about that. I've asked for help in the astral before, so no shame in that. Ask if you need help. Just ask. Ask even if you don't need it, and see if you can get extra tips. But this man wouldn't have. He wouldn't have unless he needed to. And I got a fleeting bit of sympathy back, and I don't know. Or I was trying to share on the paper and write down the feeling, and I couldn't get it out. But there was something about, like, we had a resonant feeling in there somewhere, fleeting though it was. So I think just sympathetic. Anyway, I was looking at the moss and how wet it was. I noticed that it moved in really slow waves. He kept calling it fairy moss, and even though I knew that part. And he went through it to show me. When I asked him to describe the experience, I didn't ask him to go in there, but he did. He wanted to show me. And he came back with 3 bites that healed up quickly, but he wanted to show me what was happening. He's getting stuck in there and he's getting bitten. And so he was showing me these images of a hag and of a big black hairy dog. And so I already knew that, like, that's a fairy protection. So the portal is protected and it's kicking him out. And so this goes also back to when I was talking about how different astral areas have different like textures and consistencies. Some are more mucky than others. And remember, I've actually been to astral classes on the astral plane myself, learning how to move in some of these types of situations. I don't know if I can find the video and link it quick, but there was one where I like had a car stuck in the bog and stuff. So this is like that. And so I remembered my training and, you know, and I've been to more than one of those kinds of classes. This keeps coming up because I used to keep getting stuck all the time in some of these, and now I don't. And in this case, I felt like he's just moving too fast. It's urgent, but you still have to obey like the rules of the portal to use the portal. You still have to get at that resonant frequency with it. Plus, it has a guardian. Okay, it has this Cu-Sithe guardian, the Scottish Hound slash hag, and both of those are protective symbolizations. And we have all this wet moss, and so I'm trying to tell him that even though he's in a great, great hurry here, it's urgent, I get it, but he has to slow down, even if it's just momentary as he goes through. And I also suggested, bring a treat for that Cu-Sithe, like a little cupcake, anything, a coin, show like you have a good intention, and move it slowly through the portal first. And then it seep through the portal slowly like water, like moving in waves like that water. Let the moss engulf you. You've got the treat there for the guardian. That gives the guardian time to know that you're a good person. You're not just slamming into this portal and they don't even know who you are. And so he did that and he was gone. Boom. Right through that portal. And he only had to get it right once. You only have to get it right once. So I was really happy to be able to help him. Let me see if I missed anything from what I wrote down here. Long conversation about going slow, giving the portal guardian a treat. Really more of an offering, because remember, this is not a dog, actually. This is a guardian, and a guardian will not act like any dog you've ever seen. So, an offering. Give the offering to the guardian and go slow and give them time to see that, hey, yep, you're good to go. You were invited. All is well. Let's see, anything else? Soft and easy, making notes about how I told him about that. And I think I covered it all. Yay. So yeah, different portals have different dynamics. This had a guardian, and he knew what to do, but he was just in such a hurry that he couldn't think about it because it was urgent. So he finally got through. I don't know what it was about, why it was urgent, but those were my experiences helping out on the astral plane. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great new year. Have a great week. Happy astral travels. Ta-ta for now.